at the head cushion today, you can have the ball with you just in case. Just make sure you feel okay and follow the class. Follow the levels that you want to do tonight. Okay, so we're going to start with our feet together as usual, opening our toes and our heels, and then setting the center or the weight of our body underneath each feet, and making sure it's nice and even and centered. Knees are nice and soft, hands on our hips, remembering a bucket of water. We're going to tuck under, pour the water on our heels and lift the bottom up, pour the water on our toes. And keep the movements big to start with, lifting up and down. And then slowly we're going to reduce the movements until we come to the midpoint where we feel that our pelvis is in neutral. Our hands are level with one another. We're going to relax the arms down, roll our shoulders back, melting the shoulder blades towards our bottom, chin slightly tucked towards our chest, and head nice and long towards the ceiling. We're going to work our core muscles a little bit. So take a deep breath in across the chest. And as you're breathing out, you're going to zip from the back through to the front, lifting the pelvic floor up towards your heart. And breathe in, release. Breathing out, zipping up. And breathe in, release. Breathing out, zipping from the front, drawing the lower tummy muscles towards the spine. And breathe in, release. One more, breathing out, engaging. And breathe in, release. So I'm going to try to remember that little feeling when we move today as we breathe in out, trying to engage that core. We're going to start by warming up. We're going to start with our ankle strategy. So we're going to imagine we've got a pencil on the top of our head. We're going to draw a circle on the ceiling. So we're going to look, lean to the front and then onto the side of our feet and onto our heels and then onto the other side. Drawing a circle with our head, keeping the body nice and still. So imagine you're on a tube and you're going around a tube. We can try by closing our eyes if we want an extra challenge. But if we feel dizzy today, it might not be a good idea. Just feeling the weight shifting from the side to the back, to the other side and to the toes, trying to keep the feet nice and relaxed. And then on the next one, we're going to go in the other direction. And again, drawing that little circle, relaxing the shoulders, shifting the weight underneath the feet. Closing our eyes if we feel that we are good with our balance. And then slowly we're going to reduce the circle to return to the center of our feet with our weight nice and even. Well done, excellent. And take a deep breath in across the chest. And we're going to do big arm circles, breathing out and in to come back. Breathing out to lift, in to come back. Warming up the shoulders. One more. And then the next one, we're going to lift, bring our hands behind our heads, elbows nice and wide. And we're going to bring our shoulders to our ears and relax them down. Keep the hips forward and twist from the waist. Look to the side. Breathe in. Back to the center. In to shrug. Out to release. And then again, twist. Breathing into the stretch. And back to the middle. Shrug your shoulders. Release. Spine twist to the side, keeping the hips forward. And back to center. Shrug the shoulders. Release, and then twist to the other side. We're going to do one more on each side. Shrug, release, twist, back in, shrug, release, and twist, and back in. We're going to reach to the ceiling and big circle down. Give your shoulders a roll. And we're going to do our mermaid. So we're going to zip up from the side, look to the ceiling, reach that hand and then bend to the side. Breathe in to stretch that hand away and coming back in. Breathing out and reach, in to pause, out to slide or bend to the side and breathe into the stretch. And back to the center. Zipping up. Breathe in. Out to stretch the side. In to pull that hand away. And back to middle. One more. Reaching the hand. And back in. Well done. We're going to do a couple of roll downs. We're going to start with our feet nice and parallel. Deep breath in into the chest. And out, zipping up, chin to chest. We're going to roll the shoulders forward first. And remembering the spine stuck to the wall. We're going to peel the spine off the wall, one bone at a time. Before folding the hips and the bottom. Keeping the knees soft. Going as far as we can. Breathe in and out, restacking. We're going to tuck the bottom on the first, then stack up the hips and roll back the spine up. Take a moment at the top. Breath in. When we feel a bit less dizzy, we can just roll back down. Just really mobilizing the spine. If we want a little bit more stretch, we can really bend our knees, feeling the stretch in our lower back. Breathe in, keeping the knees nice and bent. And then we're going to restack, tucking our bottom under, feeling the stretch in our lower back. And then straightening the legs as we roll back up. And back in. We'll do one more. Breath in and out, chin to chest, rolling forward. Nice and slow. And when we get to the lower back, we're going to bend our knees. Feel the stretch. Breath in at the bottom. Keeping the knees nice and bent, tucking under as we roll back up. And back to the center. We're going to take a few seconds to let the blood come down. And we're going to open our feet to 10 to 2. We're going to do wider squats today. Remembering when we squat, we shift the weight on our heels. And then the wide squats, the knees are going to go towards your second toes. Arms are up, tucked to your elbow tucks to your waist, palms up. We'll take a breath in to prepare, breathing out, zipping up, coming down and opening the arms to the side. And breathing back in, breathing out and in. Only going far down as you can, keeping the bottom in line with your back. So we imagine we've got a wall behind us and we're sliding against the wall. Zipping up and we come down. Breathe in to come back up. And the next one, we're going to stay down and reach to the side. Palms down, palms up, fall back in and squeeze back up. Breathing out and reach, palms down, palms up, pull back in and zip up. And again, breathing out and reach. Pull back in and squeeze back up. Really good. And squeeze back up. And again. And squeeze back up. We're going to add a little heel lift for the last 5. Breath in to prepare. Breathing that open, down, reach. Stay your palms up. You're going to heel lift one and the other. Pull back in, zip up. Breathing in, out to come down, reach, heel, heel, fold, back to center. Breathing out, reach, heel, heel, fold, back to center. Keeping the back nice and straight. Reach, heel, heel, fold, back to center. One more. Breathing out, reach, heel, heel, back to center and reach back. Bring your feet back to hip width and then just give your legs a bit of a shake. I'm sure you're a bit more awake now. And we're beginning to work on our balance. So back to our hip width position. We're going to set a position nice and long, chin to chest, remembering our helium balloon pulling us towards the ceiling, and shoulders relax. We're going to keep the knees soft, zip up as you're breathing out and calm to your toes. And breathing down. Breathing out, calm to your toes, and in, down. Reaching to the ceiling, and down. Squeezing your bottoms to help the balance, keeping the toes nice and relaxed. Breathing out to come up, into low down. Well done. And the next one, we're going to come up, bend one knee, lower the other heel, and push back up. Do our walking, keeping the hips level with one another. You can go a bit faster. Make sure we're keeping our heels level with one another. Rising up and down. And then the next one, we're going to bring the opposite arm to the knee. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, ribs relaxed. Going a little bit faster. Waking up our heart. Keeping those hips nice and level. And then you're going to lower down, or slow down, should I say. Nice and slow, little by little, until you come to a nice stop. Well done, excellent. And we're going to do a one leg circle now in standing. So you're going to bring our weight to one foot, shifting the weight to one foot in the middle. And we're going to come to the toes onto the other one. So we're going to do it first of all with our toes on the floor. I'm going to take a breath in to prepare. Breathing out, I'm going to zip up, so pulling from the side to the front. Straight, point the foot forward, tap the foot first forward. And then we're going to tap to the side, and again, and behind us. And then bring the foot back into the center. Tap in front of you. Side, side. So imagine we've got a clock. We're going to point to the 12, to the 1, to the 3, 4, and a 6. And back to the center. Keeping the pelvis in neutral, trying to keep the lower back straight, so making sure we don't arch the lower back too much as we circle our legs. And if we want to work a little bit harder with our balance, we can hover the foot completely and circle the leg around, coming back in, breathing out and into return. Breathing out to circle and into return. So obviously having the foot, hovering the foot is a little bit harder on your balance. We'll go to 2 more. Last one. And then we're going to shift to the other leg. Weight onto the middle of the leg, of the standing foot, and on our toes on the other side. Breath in to prepare, breathing out, engage. We're going to start with a 12, 11, 9, 7, and 6, and come back in. So tapping the foot around in a semicircle to start with, to help with the balance. And when our balance is better, we feel that more comfortable, we can hover the foot completely, trying to keep ourselves nice and long towards the ceiling, keeping the lower back from arching to the minimum. Breathing out to semicircle into return. Ooh. Ooh. That side is a little bit trickier for me. We always have one side a little bit trickier than the other. We're going to do 2 more. And last one. And back in. Give the other leg a bit of a shake. And we're going to do our clams in standing. So still nice and tall towards the ceiling. We're going to shift away to one leg, come on the toes onto the other. And we're going to imagine we've got a little coin underneath the big toe. And we're going to swivel the toe to the side and back in. Breathing out to open to the side, into return. And if you put your hand on your back pocket, you should feel that muscle contract as you open the knee to the side. So that's your clams, but in your standing position. And if we want to work a bit harder on our balance, we can hover the foot, put it behind the ankle. Ooh. Zipping through our core, squeezing our bottoms to help with the balance. We'll do 2 more. Last one. And lower the foot down. And again to the other side, setting the weight onto the center of the standing foot, soft knee, and remembering our coin, you're going to swivel and close. Breathing out and in. Zipping up to open and using our core to help with the balance, making sure our lower body is nice and relaxed, shoulders away from our ears. And then if our balance is good, we can put our foot behind the ankle. The last few. going to do 3 more. Last one. Well done. And relax down. Give your other leg a shake. And then we're going to finish with our little scooter exercise. So I'm going to put myself to the side so you know. We're just going to do a small chair squat. So imagine you've got a big stool behind you. You're going to soften your knee, then shoot your bottom onto that big stool, bending your knee, shifting your bottom behind you, bottom tucked under, and head towards creating a diagonal line towards the ceiling. You're looking in front of you, you're shifting your weight onto your heels, and you're bringing that weight onto that one foot. You're going to come to the toes onto the other one. Breath in to prepare, breathing out, engage. You're going to slide that foot behind you, and breathe in, return. Slide, and in. Zipping up to slide, using your core to help with your balance. If the balance is good, we can lift the toe and tap behind and tap back to the center. And if the balance is really good, we can just hover the foot completely and reach behind. One more. Well done. And swap leg. So in our standing position, small squat, chucking the bottom under, shifting the weight on that one standing heel, coming to the toes onto the other one. And we're going to slide first. Dragging the toe onto the mat to get comfortable with our balance. And when we're comfortable with the balance, we can just lift and tap behind. And then for the last few, we can hover the foot completely if the balance is good. One more. And back to the center. Perfect. Give your leg a little shake. We're going to work on our one standing leg for a bit more balance. We're going to come up to single tabletop. Zipping up. I'm going to bring the opposite arm forward. And back to the floor. Breathing out, zip up. Other arm. Coming to single tabletop first. Zipping up through our core to help with the balance. Shifting the weight to the center of the foot that you're standing on. One more. And then on the next one, we're going to come up onto our single tabletop, bend forward. And then, come back to our single tabletop. Should have chosen the other side. Coming up to single tabletop, bend forward, shifting the weight, the knee behind, coming back to single tabletop. Single tabletop, bending forward, shifting the knee behind us, and back in. Keeping the back straight as we're leaning forward, bringing the knee behind. One more on each leg. Last one. And back in. Well done. We're going to come to the end of our mat. We're going to do our roll down to come to the floor. So all our key elements in place. Deep breath to start with. And breathing out, chin to chest. We're going to roll the shoulders first forward, bend the spine one breath at a time. And then the hips and the bottom. And roll the way down, bending our knees. We're going to come to our backs, lying on our back. We're not going to need our cushion yet. We're going to start with our shoulder bridge. So we're going to bring ourselves to our backs in our rest position. Feet are going to be close to your bottom. You're going to open your toes and your heels so they're hip width apart and parallel on their train tracks. Chin is slightly tucked towards your chest, holding that peach, and your neck's nice and long. Chest is soft towards the mat. We're going to tilt the pelvis back and forth to start with. So squashing the lower back down first and then lifting the lower back away. Just nice little small tilting of the pelvis back and forth just to warm up the lower spine. Breathing in and out. We're going to reduce each movement slowly until we feel that we've gone to our neutral pelvis, where the pelvis is nice and straight. We could put a tray of drinks, and we've got a little gap underneath our lower back for a blueberry. Hands are relaxed either side of us. So we're going to start with some simple shoulder bridge to start with. Breath in to prepare. Breathing out, you're going to squash your blueberry, squeeze your bottom, and lift your bottom off of the floor, one bone at a time, lifting the spine all the way up to your shoulder blades. Breath in at the top, and breathing out, returning the spine, bone by bone, back to the mat. Breath in at the bottom. Breathing out, engage, squash your blueberry, squeeze your bottom, lift up to the shoulder blades. Breath in and out, lower down. Nice and slow. Breathe in. Breathing out, squash, squeeze and lift. Breathe in at the top and returning the spine after. Breath in. One more. Breathing out, zipping up, squashing, lifting one bone at a time. Keeping the chin nice and tucked towards your chest. Chest soft as you get to the top. Breath in and out. Coming back in. Okay, we're going to do another one, but this time we're going to stay up a little bit longer. So take a breath in to prepare, breathing out to engage, squash and squeeze, lifting one at a time. Breath in at the top. And as you breathe out, you're going to lift one foot up to single tabletop, lower it down, and the other one. Breathing out. Every time you lift the foot, keeping the bottom nice and high. In between each lift, try not to press too hard on your arms. Marching our legs. Nice and slow, keeping strong through our core. Two more sets. Last one. And then you're going to roll back down. You're gonna bring your knees to your chest to give your bottom a bit of a stretch and your back a little bit of a stretch. Rolling side to side before we move on to the next level. And then you're gonna lower one leg at a time. Come back to your position, breath in to prepare. So we're going to imagine that one foot is on holiday. We're going to hover one foot above the floor. And we're going to go up onto our shoulder bridge in one leg. Breath in to prepare, breathing out to engage. Squash, squeeze, and lift your shoulder bridge. Breath in at the top. Out, you're going to lower down halfway down and squeeze back up. Halfway down, squeeze back up on one leg. Halfway down, squeeze back up. Two more. And squeeze. Next one. And squeeze. And all the way down. We're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to do 5 at a time. Breath in to prepare. Hover one foot. Breathing out to engage. Come up. Stay up. Breathe in. Out to lower halfway down. Squeezing back up. 2. 3. 4. 5. And all the way down. And we're going to do that again on the other side. Breath in. Breathing out, engage. Come up. Breathe in at the top. And halfway. 1. 2. And squeeze. 3. Squeeze up. 4. Squeeze. 5. And squeeze. And lower down. Next one. Hover the foot. Breath in to prepare. Breathing out, engage. Push. Breath in at the top. And lower. 1. And squeeze. 2. And squeeze. 3. 4. And 5. And squeeze. And lower down. Well done. Bring your knees to your chest. Roll your feet side to side. And put your feet one at a time down. Okay, then you go back to our rest position with our feet a bit further away from our bottom, and we can have our head cushion underneath our head this time. We're going to start with our hip twist level 1. So nice and easy to start with. So finding our neutral, so our tray of drinks, our little blueberry. Breath in to prepare, breathing out, we're going to engage and lower one knee to the side. And breathe in, return. Breathing out, lower the other side. And breathe in, return. So nice and easy to start with. Keeping the pelvis in neutral, making sure we don't slide the drink side to side. Keeping the chest soft, shoulders relaxed away from our ears. And the knee that's not moving stays nice and put as well. So only opening as far as we can keep the pelvis in neutral. Breathing out, engage as you open into return. We're trying to keep that core engagement as long as we can before relaxing completely. And one more on each side. And then the other one. Perfect. We're going to come back to the center. This time we're going to take a breath in, breathing out, engage, come up to single tabletop. You're going to imagine we've got a pencil on the top of our knee. We're going to draw a circle with our knee onto the ceiling, keeping the circle only as big as we can keep the pelvis in our neutral. So we want to make sure that the pelvis stays nice and straight so we don't slide the drinks away. And the knee that's not moving is staying nice and still as well. And we're breathing out for half of the circle, breathing in for the other half. Really mobilizing the hip. So it's the hip that's circling around, that's moving, making the knee create a circle. We're going to go the other direction. So trying to stay as still as possible. One more. And then you can relax the foot down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Breath in to prepare, breathing out, engage, come up. Breathe in to pause, and out halfway, in other half. Keeping the circle as big as you can keep your pelvis still. And then we're going to go the other direction. And then one more. And then lower down. Have a long stretch. Give your hip a bit of a stretch. Arms behind us. Flex and point your feet. And then we're going to return to our rest position. We're going to work a little bit harder on our core muscles now. We're going to work on our hundreds. So we're going to start with our feet on the floor, our hands hovering off of the floor, and the arms as well. So arms hovered off of the floor, breath in to prepare. Breathing out, we're going to zip up, and as we breathe out, we're going to tap our fingers 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay cord engaged as we breathe in and tap for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to try to stay engaged as long as we can, tapping our fingers for the breath, for the time of our breath. And 5, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. If we want to work a bit harder, we can come up with 1 foot off of the floor to challenge the core a little bit more. And if we really want to work much harder, we're going to imprint our ribs, double tabletop, and challenge the core a little bit more as well. Make sure we haven't squashed a blueberry. And for the last bit of work, we're going to bring our hands up behind our head, lift our shoulders off of the floor and count for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. on, keep going. Keeping that core engaged, nice and strong. Top, bottom rib trying to meet the hips. We're going to do 2 more rounds. Last time. And then we're going to lower one leg at a time and have a big stretch. Deep breath in. And then we're going to roll ourselves onto our side. Legs nice and long. And arm long. Head cushion between our arms and our head. Remembering our position, feet flex, top hip on top of bottom hip, top hip nice and long, creating that really long top leg, creating a little gap underneath our waist. We can have our hands on our hip or a hand on our front of us. We take a breath in to prepare, breathing out, zipping up through our core, point and lift, flex and lower, point and lift, flex and lower. Creating, keeping nice and long with the top leg as we lift and keeping the gap underneath our waist. And the next one, we're going to stay long, up, and then we're going to circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then lower down. Keep your bottom a shrug or rub. Bend your knees, bring your feet behind you. Come up to your elbows. Elbow underneath shoulder. Waist lifted. If you have a ball, you can put it underneath your waist as a guide so that you keep your waist lifted. If you feel like you're squashing the ball, you need to lift that waist a bit more. You're going to bring your hips forward a bit. And we're going to keep our feet on the floor. We're going to do our clowns in our side bend. The hips forward, breath in to prepare, breathing out, zip up. We're going to open and close. Keeping the hips forward. Staying nice and strong from our waist. Last one. Excellent. And I'm going to bring our arms nice to the side and up and over, reaching to the ceiling, the ribs, and breath in. Breathing out, zipping up, and in. Really good. Lifting that waist off. Really good. And then the next 5, we're going to lift that bottom and reach that hip to the ceiling. And breathe in. Breathing out. And in. Excellent. Working our obliques. Thinning our waist with that exercise. 2 more. Last one. Well done. Excellent. You're going to come to your hands and knees before doing the other side. Really good. Knees in line with your hips. Shoulders, shoulder width apart. And then bottom tucked under, chest lifted, elbows soft. Okay, we're going to tuck our feet under. Breath in to prepare. Breathing out, we're going to breathing out, engage, push on your toes and your hands, hover and hold for 3, 2, 1, and then lower down. Breath in, breathing out, engage, push and hold for 3, 2, 1, and then lower down, and again. Breathing out, engage and hold. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Breath in, breathing out, engage. We're going to hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and again. Breathing out, engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And again, engage, and 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And we're going to do 3 more. Breath in, breathing out, engage, and push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Breath in, breathing out, engage, push, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And last one. Breath in, breathing out, engage for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Ankle your feet. Have a shell stretch. Nice deep breathing. Well done. You're going to come back up and then turn around to do the other side of your bottoms, to your side lying exercise with your head cushion between your head and your arm, and legs long first. Remembering, feet flex so you can see your toes, top hip on top of bottom hip, top hip long, creating that little gap underneath your waist, making the top leg nice and long, longer than the bottom one. Hand in front of you if you need to. Breath in to prepare, breathing out, engage, point and lift, flex and lower. Keeping that waist lifted as you lift your leg. And the next one, you're going to stay long and then circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And back in. You're going to bend your knees, feet behind you. You're going to bring yourself to your elbows with the ball underneath your waist if you have one. Use it as a guide or even a cushion. So it's just to make sure you're not squashing your waist onto the ball. You're going to bring your hips forward, feet together, breath in to prepare, breathing out, engage. We're going to open and close, keeping the hips forward as you open. Try not to roll back. Last one. And then from here, let arm nice and long. And we're going to reach up and over, bringing those top ribs to the ceiling and come back in. Breathing up. And in. And then the next one, we're going to bring our bottom up as well. Bring it up and really arching those ribs, bringing the ribs to the ceiling. Really good. One more. And back in. And then we're going to come back to our hands and knees. Knees in line with your hips. Shoulders, hands shoulder width apart. Elbows soft. Bottom tucked under. Chest lifted, looking to the floor. We're going to do a swimming level 4. So breath in to prepare. Breathe in and engage. We're going to reach opposite hand and home and hover. And go back in. Breathing out, reach and hover. And breathe in. Keeping the lower back nice and tucked under. Trying to keep the body as still as we can as we reach in front and behind us. Zipping up as we reach. And then the next one, we're going to reach and hover. And as we come back, we're going to bring the elbow to knee and then reach again. We're going to do 5 in a row. Breathing out and reach. In to bring the elbow to the knee. Last one. And reach. And back down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Breath in to prepare. Breathe in and engage. Reach and hover. Elbow to knee. And out. Reaching. Elbow to knee. Running up your back as you bring your elbow to your knee. Straightening the whole body as you reach away. 2 more. Last one. Ooh. And back in. And we're going to have a nice shoulder shell stretch. Palms up. Nice and deep breathe in. Coming back to your hands and knees, we can have a big step forward of our hands. We're going to bring our hips to the floor. Just come to our cobra. Breath in. We're going to leave the hands where they are, push our bottom up, and then the lower chest to the floor, bottom in the air. And then lowering our bottom down. We're going to open our knees wide as the mat. Feet together and lower ourselves down a bit more. And then we can open our toes, our feet as wide as the mat. And then lower ourselves a bit more as well. And then we're going to walk our hands back in. Close our knees, roll onto our side with our head on our cushion. Roll ourselves onto our backs. Feet and knees together, knees bent. Arms wide open like an aeroplane to the side. Take a breath in to prepare. Breathing out, you're going to lower the knees to one side. Roll the head to the other. Breathe into the stretch. And roll back to the middle, using your core. Breathe into the center. Breathing out and roll to the other side. Rolling the head to the other side. Breathe in. And back to the middle. Keep going in your own time. Rolling side to side. Breathing into the stretch. And breathing out to come back to the center. Breathing in to pause in the middle and out to lower to the other side. You're going to come back to the center and cross your leg. So you're going to bring the right one on top of the left one. We're going to do the same thing, lower towards the right. Head, roll the other side. Feeling the stretch onto your hip. And come back in. And then roll onto the left. Feeling the stretch on the, all the way up your back, through your front pec. Deep breath in. And back to the center. I'm going to do one more with the right on the left. Breathing into the stretch. Right to the middle. And roll the other side. And back to the center. And you can uncross your legs and bring the left in front of the right. And roll towards the right. Head the other way. Feeling it across your lower back and your front chest. Breathing in. And roll back in. And roll towards the left. Feeling it across your hip. Deep breath in. And roll back in. And then one more either side. Using the weight of the legs to add to the stretch. Back to the center. And to the other side. Back to the middle. Uncross your legs. You're going to bring one knee to your chest and keep it nice and tight to your chest as you lengthen the other leg away. And you're going to point and flex the foot of the leg that is straight. And circle your ankle one way. And then the other way. We're going to release the bent knee. Bring the other one to the chest. Pin it as close as you can and let it, keep it as close as you can to your chest as you lengthen the other leg. Point and flex the foot on the straight leg. And then circle the ankle one way and then the other. Release the knee, bring it back to bed, ankle to knee, pushing the knee away with one hand, stretching the hip. And then lifting the foot as up of that's on the floor and grabbing the thigh to stretch your bottom. You can use your elbow or the opposite elbow to press on the knee that's in the air to add to the stretch. And then release. I'm going to swap leg. Pressing on the knee first, opening the knee to open the hip. And then lifting the foot off of the floor. Pressing on the knee that's in the air with the elbow. And then lowering back down. Roll onto your side. Push yourself up. Come to sitting with your feet together. Sitting high on your sitting bone. Letting the knees relax to the floor. Deep breath. Shoulders relax. We're going to keep one knee bent and then extend one leg. We're going to look to that flexed foot and then walk our hands towards the foot. And with the opposite hand, we're going to try to reach with the outside of the foot, lowering yourself down as far as we can. Deep breath into the stretch, stretching the back of your leg. Slowly walk your legs, your hands back in. And then we're going to swap. Bending ourselves down towards your foot, reaching with the opposite hand towards the outside of the foot. And then coming back up. We're going to come to your hands and knees. We're finished with our cat and cow stretch. So feet relax. We're going to start by lifting up and then lifting your head up. We're going to tuck under, rounding up, head in. Lifting the tail up, head out. Tucking under, head in. And then I'm going to reverse again. One more, tucking under. Back to the center, tuck your feet under. You're going to sit on your heels. Roll your shoulders back. Take a couple of breaths here, stretching the back of your feet. And then bringing our fingers to our knees. Push on your fingers, roll onto your feet. See if we can sit on our feet. Relaxing here for a couple of breaths. Bringing our fingers to our toes, using our roll down to come up, keeping the knees nice and bent, and then tucking under, stretching the lower back. Roll the shoulders back, letting the blood come down. Deep breath in. You're going to shrug your shoulders and shrug your legs, and you're all done. Well done.